Hello everyone, today is 18th of November, now it's about 11 o'clock in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for a day in which I'll share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms, and there are quite a few very significant developments and news that I'd like to share with you for this moment. And of course I'm gonna start with the breaking news for last, I don't know, 10 to 12 hours, which is that Biden approves Ukrainian strikes deep inside Russia with US missiles. This was reported initially by New York Times, although all the media outlets worldwide are now talking about this new level, next level of escalation between collective West, the Western ruling class, and Russia. So US President Joe Biden has reportedly authorized Ukraine to use long-range American missiles to strike targets inside Russia's pre-2014 borders, according to a New York Times reporter on Sunday, citing anonymous US officials. The decision, if accurately conveyed by the newspaper, marks a major shift in Washington's policy and will raise the stakes in the conflict between Moscow and Kiev, I will say between Western ruling class and Russia. The White House has yet to comment publicly on the matter. The report states that Ukraine is expected to deploy their army tactical missile systems, ATACMS missiles, basically, against Russian forces and alleged North Korean troops in Russia's Kursk region, where fierce fighting is ongoing. There supposed the presence of the North Korean forces has been used as a part of their justification for the policy change by White House or through there is no verified proof of Pyongyang's troops operating in Russia. And when it comes to ATACMS missiles, by the way, these are quite capable missiles with a range of about 300 kilometers. Definitely significant escalation between NATO, collective West, and Russia. And after a couple of hours, by the way, when this news broke, Le Figaro, I believe it was La Figaro newspaper, yes, La Figaro newspaper, French newspaper, reported that London and Paris also are authorizing a formally Kiev regime to use this their long-range missiles, Storm Shadow and Scalp PG, to strike deep inside Russian territories. So these actions of Washington, London, and Paris was, of course, not random. They had a talk about this topic. They planned this next level of escalation. And the question is, are we at war? Are US, France, and UK, potentially Germany, if German Taurus long-range missiles will also be used for the strikes deep inside Russia, are we at war now? Is Washington, London, and Paris declaring war on Russia? That's the question that I have, because Russian high-ranking officials, including Russian president, were very clear on this topic of long-range strikes deep inside Russian territory with the Western weapon systems. Just in September, Russian president stated that Moscow knows perfectly well that the regime is not able to operate with these long-range weapon systems because of the lack of the necessary means and expertise, and therefore, if such strikes will take place, Moscow will see it as a direct attack on Russia by US and its NATO allies, countries that will provide formally Kiev regime with these long-range missiles, right? So Moscow was very clear on the topic, and my hope was that Western ruling class received the message and understood that this is the red line that they should not cross under no circumstances. But well, unfortunately, my hope was baseless, I guess, because they are escalating. They are crossing this red line also. And question is now, of course, when these strikes will take place, in one hand, and on another, how Moscow will react on this extreme escalation. Russian president was very clear that Moscow will retaliate. Question is what he meant by countermeasures, under countermeasures. For now, dear friends, for now, as I already said, Biden's administration is officially not commenting on the matter, and the same goes for London and Paris. They are not officially commenting on that. Probably later on today we will receive some statements from the leadership of these countries. And unfortunately, Trump's team is also, at least for now, did not really react on this next level of escalation. Only Trump Jr. Commented on this matter, and he was quite explicit in his comment on X. Let's go through it. US President-elect Donald Trump's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., lashed out at the Democrats following reports that outgoing President Joe Biden has allowed Ukraine to use American-made long-range missiles to strike internationally recognized Russian territory. Trump Jr., who campaigned alongside his father during the 2024 presidential election and has been helping him pick members of his future cabinet. And this is from RT, by the way. I don't know how much Trump Jr. was involved in all this process. Anyways, he did not mince words on social media. The military-industrial complex seems to want to make sure they get World War III going before my father has a chance to create peace and save lives. He wrote on X on Sunday, "Got a looker in those trillions. Life be doomed imbeciles." He commented basically addressing all those war hawks and warmongers that are basically pushing a Western world towards this next level of escalation with Russia. And they are actually pushing entire world towards global disaster. But yet again, even though Trump Jr. commented on this matter, and his attitude is clearly negative towards this decision of Biden's administration or whoever is pulling the strings there and Washington and making decisions. But yet again, he is Trump's family member, but he's not Trump himself, right? President-elect, and not someone from his future administration. For now, unfortunately, President-elect Trump did not react on this development, and neither any of his, at least as far as I can tell, because I did not see statements from them. So neither his picks for his future administration did make any statements. Maybe later on in the day, possibly, but for now, only what Russian media is reporting about, just what reaction of the Trump Jr. Also some members of the Congress and Senate, some public figures, experts are reacting on it, but not to Trump and his picks on administration, which is unfortunate. Maybe they are on board with this decision. I don't know because yet again, Trump Jr. is a family member of the president-elect, but they might have different opinions on different developments, right? Also, by the way, Axios is reporting that according to this outlet, Biden's administration authorized strikes with US long-range weapon systems only in the Kursk region. Although I don't think that means anything really. I notice in Russian segment of internet on pages of some media outlets that are financed by the states or are affiliated with the states, like RIA Novosti, for example. I notice attempt to downgrade importance of these processes that we are about to witness. Maybe because they want to lay down ground or they want to influence public opinion in a way that if Moscow will not retaliate, as it was promised earlier, if such strikes will take place, then society will not be too upset. Although I don't think it will work, by the way. I don't think this attempt of several, by the way, not all obviously, but several media outlets, mainly ones that are affiliated with the state, I don't think their attempt to somehow downgrade this importance of this development will work out. And if such strikes will take place deep inside the Russian territory with the Western weapons, and if Russia will not retaliate, a significant number of my fellow citizens probably will be very upset and very angry because society is getting really, as far as I can tell, dear friends. I live here, I'm monitoring situation, I'm speaking with my fellow citizens, right, on daily basis, and as far as I understand, people really are getting tired of all this story, by the way. And first of all, I will notice that many people are not happy because of this restraint that Russian leadership is exercising when it comes to deployment of some extreme force against our enemies. So obviously, question now will be, and many experts worldwide will start to predict how Russia will react on at this point inevitable strikes deep inside the Russian territory, in the Kursk region or any other region. By the way, I remind you that ATACMS and Storm Shadow missiles have a 300-kilometer range at least, and if German Taurus missiles will be deployed, then Taurus missiles not just have a longer range, about 500 to 600 kilometers, but Taurus missiles are also nuclear capable. As far as I understand, Storm Shadows and British Storm Shadow and the French Scalp EG missiles, cruise missiles, are not nuclear capable, but Taurus missiles are, right? And those cruise missiles are air launched. So theoretically speaking, it is feasible, it is possible that NATO pilots on F-16s, for example, will try to fly low, penetrate Russian airspace, get as close as possible to Moscow, as close as 300 kilometers, for example, and then launch these cruise missiles. So even Moscow can be targeted, with or without Taurus missiles, right? And as I already said, French media outlet Le Figaro is reporting that London and Paris also authorized formally Kiev regime, in reality their own military personnel in Kiev controlled territory, to launch Storm Shadow and Scalp EG missiles to strike deep inside the Russia, right? So theoretically speaking, they can, if they manage to bypass Russian air defense systems, theoretically they can even strike Moscow. So I mean, this is as serious as it can get, right? So therefore, of course, Moscow will have no option but to react on this development. And what that reaction gonna be, how Russia will retaliate, I cannot tell you. I just don't know, dear friends, and probably more time is needed to have a better understanding of this current situation and potential future developments, because no matter what me or other authors on the different channels gonna say, it will be just speculation, because we obviously don't know how Moscow will react. But what we do know is that Russian president was very clear on this topic of Western long-range strikes deep inside the Russian territory. And even though for now we have no comment from Kremlin itself, I guess in next couple of hours, press spokesman of the Russian president will be asked about this development, and we will have some reaction from Kremlin. But now we have a comment from Maria Zakharova, official representative of the Russian Foreign Ministry. And let's go through this news here. Russian President Vladimir Putin has already shared his thoughts on the possible Western approval for Ukraine to carry out long-range strikes deep within Russian territory, Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova has stated, according to a report from the New York Times on Sunday, which cited unnamed US officials. US President Joe Biden has given Kyiv a green light to deploy long-range American missiles against targets within Russia's internationally recognized borders. And then, quote, the president has expressed his opinion on this matter, Zakharova told the news outlet RBK on Sunday. In September this year, Russian President Vladimir Putin stated that Ukrainian forces lack the capability to carry out attacks with their Western-supplied long-range missiles without external assistance. It is not a question of allowing the Ukrainian regime to strike Russia with these weapons or not. It is about deciding whether NATO countries become directly involved in the military conflict or not. So, I mean, you cannot get any more clear on this matter, isn't it? Putin also added that if a decision allowing the strikes were made, Moscow would make appropriate decisions in response to threats that will be posed to us. So I guess when and if and when these long-range strikes will take place on Russia, Moscow will unveil what Russian president meant under response. For now, I mean, we can speculate or make some predictions that Russia will do this or that, but we just cannot know, right? Only few people knew how Russia will react. One of them, Russian president, and there maybe 2-3 other high-ranking officials. That's, I guess, that's it. So we will find out. We will find out soon. Definitely next level of escalation. Of course, I will gather all the additional news that will be available on the matter during the day. And in today's second news update, I will share this additional news on my Patreon and Boosty pages. And when it comes to Patreon, by the way, yesterday I presented a new program on Patreon and Boosty. News of the week. There will be on weekends. I will have news of the week program. This is this first episode, by the way, on my Patreon page. So news of the week. Topic of the discussion was the U.S. elections, recent presidential elections, and the new administration, future administration of the U.S. How things may go down in relationships between US and Russia, West and Russia, US and Europe, and so on. And as you can see, dear friends, on your screens, my eldest daughter, Nitsa, is helping me with this project. She's a student, university student on Faculty of Journalism, and she will lead this program. Basically, on weekends, on Saturdays or Sundays, we will have our news of the week program about main topic of the week as we see it in Russia, and on weekdays we will try to have a program also on the main topic of the day. So in today's program, obviously we will talk about this development on that I just spoke about, this long range strikes on Russia and possible Russian retaliation. During the day, I will monitor all the media outlets here, and I mean, I will try to gather as much relevant information as possible. And dear friends, if you like my work, if you want to support, and if you are interested in more news and commentary from Russia, you're more than welcome to join our communities on Patreon and Boosty, where I have quite a number of extra content on regular basis, and this extra content will become even more as time goes by. I'm definitely trying to make sure that pages on Patreon and Boosty are interesting for communities, and this is my Patreon page, by the way. That's how it looks, and also a new feature, dear friends, relatively new feature. If you are not subscribed, you can gain access to each video. You know, once you are on the page, you will see that you can buy access to single videos, or you can become a subscriber and gain access to all their content that there is on a Patreon. Anyways, let's continue, dear friends, and well, we have this report. We have this report here that German cruise missiles won't be game changer for Ukraine, according to Germany's defense chief. The potential delivery of the Taurus air-launched cruise missiles to Ukraine will not significantly change the situation on the battlefield, German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has stated. And well, yeah, he is correct. He is correct. All these missiles, by the way, German Taurus or British Storm Shadow, French Scalp PG, US ASG M or ATACMS or whatever, they're not gonna be game changers. Obviously, Western ruling class is in no circumstances will be able to turn the tide. This is just too obvious, isn't it? At least to me, right? But this new level of escalation, this next level of escalation, is definitely extremely dangerous, because after all, those missiles not gonna fly in empty fields, by the way, isn't it? They're gonna target Russian citizens. They're gonna target Russian citizens, right? Russian militaries, Russian civilians. They're gonna be used on terrorist attacks on Russia. So this topic is as serious and dangerous as it can be, right? Although, of course, it's not a game changer. It's not a game changer. Russian air defense systems will try their best to deal with these additional threats. But yet again, this is a clearly next level of escalation. Maybe somewhat demonstration of weakness even of the collective West and the desperation that Western ruling class is in right now. Because what else they're gonna bring after this? What else they're gonna do? Dirty bombs, nuclear bombs, nuclear weapons. What is the next? Nukes to be deployed. And by the way, I remind you that there are reports that Kyiv regime, obviously under strict control of their Western secret services and the Western masters of that regime, basically, might work on atomic bombs, right? On the dirty bombs. And these reports are coming from the West, by the way, from Western media outlets, right? I spoke about this topic in previous days, so there is no need to repeat myself. But question is, I mean, what else Western ruling class gonna come up with after this? Nuclear exchange? I don't know, but it is, I mean, extremely dangerous. And really, I mean, if there was a time for Western societies to wake up, I mean, now is the time, by the way. It would be better if Western societies would wake up earlier, but they did not. I'm talking about majority, but if they all are not suicidals, by the way, then they should wake up now and realize that their regimes, their so-called elites, are pushing this world towards a nuclear disaster. Because, I mean, this is too dangerous, by the way. Western ruling class is playing with fire, as I said many times, and not just with the ordinary fire, but with their nuclear fire, which is, you know. Let's continue with some more news. Obviously, there are some other developments also, even if main topic of the day, and I guess for entire week, will be these long-range, tropical long-range strikes deep inside the Russian territory. RBK news agency is reporting that according to Western Welt media outlet, this is German media outlet, if I remember correctly, Zelensky is seeking a meeting with Trump and are unsuccessful, and Zelensky is unsuccessful, at least for now. Okay, let's translate at least this first sentence. Ukrainian authorities are concerned about their uncertainty surrounding the plans of US President-elect Donald Trump in relation to the military conflict between Moscow and Kyiv, and Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky is trying to get a meeting with the Republican President-elect as soon as possible. Welter am Sonntag reports, citing sources, and for now, as I already said, Zelensky was unable to arrange such a meeting, and if Biden's administration will escalate, and it might happen that Biden's administration and the Western ruling class will escalate with Russia so much so in next 4 to 5 weeks before Trump will get to White House, that once he is in White House, once he's inaugurated, he may not be even capable. He may just not be capable to de-escalate no more. Things may go so bad in next 4 to 5 weeks. And maybe that's exactly the plan for the Western ruling class. Probably many members of our community will agree with this take, that that's exactly what they want. To escalate so much so that when Trump is in office, he just would not be able to do much. Maybe that's the game plan that the Western ruling class has. I don't know. We will find out. But the situation is developing extremely dangerously. And yet again, by the way, everybody is now asking questions, probably how Russia going to react, with what force, where. And yet again, I can come up with many dozens of ways that Russia may retaliate, but not now, not in this program. Maybe later on today in News of the Day program on my Patreon and Boosty pages. But this is a news update, so let's go through some news. RT is reporting that Polish minister slams Ukrainians' shorter memories. Polish defense minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz has criticized officials in Kyiv for having short memories. He was responding to Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky's claims that Warsaw is not doing enough to assist Kyiv in its conflict with Russia. Zelensky slammed NATO countries in October, specifically Poland, for not providing promised MiG-29 fighter jets and for refusing to intercept Russian missiles over western Ukraine. Polish officials argued that their warplanes were required for the country's own defense, while accusing Zelensky of trying to drag Poland into a war with Russia. In an interview with the local TVN24 on Thursday, Kosiniak-Kamysz said he discussed the matter with the NATO chief Mark Rutte, stressing how much Poland has already done and how greatly it has helped Ukraine. This is important in the context of President Zelensky's remarks, which carried a tone suggesting that Poland is not doing everything it can, he said, adding that the Ukrainians seem to have a short memory when it comes to Poland's contribution to Kyiv's war effort. You cannot say that Poland is not doing everything possible. Poland has done and continues to do everything possible, he argued. Okay. It is unfortunate, by the way, that Poland is positioning itself again as an enemy of Russia. Really unfortunate. And it is a tragedy of Slavic people that they are this divided. and Poles and Russians, of course, are Slavs, like citizens of this former Soviet Republic under the name of Ukraine. Majority I'm talking about, because I'm Russian citizen, but I'm not Slavic. I'm from Caucasus region, right? I'm Georgian Ossetian. But I can see this tragedy that Slavic people are going through because of this divide between between Russia and Poland, between Russia and some other Slavic nations that are under stricter Western control. Maybe sometime in the future, people will manage to get united, because after all, they are as brotherly nations as they can be, really. But anyways, when it comes to Polish disinformation, of course, Polish defense minister is correct. Unfortunately, Poland did quite a lot to arm Ukrainian Nazis and the fascist Ukrainian terrorists and to prolong this proxy war against Russia, right? And I guess Polish armed forces are not really capable to provide any significant additional assistance to Kiev regime. Otherwise, they will do it. They would do it, right? But these tensions between Warsaw and Kiev is also important because it might have significant consequences later on when this conflict will get closer to its end, and when this former Soviet Republic, Ukraine, will start undergoing full-scale disintegration, because Poland will claim, most likely, by the way, Poland will claim a significant part of Western Ukraine, because it used to be part of Poland before Second World War, this Warsaw will be forced to deal with many issues during that process, including with the very same Ukrainian Nazis and the fascists and the terrorists that they are arming right now and for the last couple of years. So these constant tensions, by the way, and increased tensions between Warsaw and Kiev may be also preparation of the ground for what is about to come when it comes to western parts of Ukraine, which will be definitely claimed by Poland, Hungary, and Romania. Mark my word, by the way, Western Ukraine is going to these countries, because it used to be part of these countries in the past, right? Also, I have to share this news that a Russian journalist was killed by Ukrainian terrorists as a result of drone strikes. So Ukrainian terrorists knew what they were doing. They were targeting journalists, and they did it. Anyways, so Yulia Kuznetsova, the editor-in-chief of a local newspaper in Russia's Kursk region, was killed in a Ukrainian drone strike on Sunday. Governor of the region, Alexei Smirnov, has reported. Kuznetsova, who ran the Narodnaya Gazeta publication, was traveling by car along the Dyakonovo-Sudzha highway when an unmanned aerial vehicle struck her car. The 34-year-old was accompanied by a colleague and a police officer, both of whom sustained injuries and were taken to hospital for treatment. Today, in the Bolshe-Soldatsky district, the editor-in-chief of Narodnaya Gazeta, Yulia Nikolaevna Kuznetsova, was killed as a result of a Ukrainian drone attack on a car. The governor wrote on his Telegram channel on Sunday expressing his condolences. So yet another terrorist attack of Kiev regime on Russian soil, and I really hope investigative committee, Russian security services will track those killers, those Ukrainian terrorists, and bring them to justice. And I'm quite sure that that is going to happen one way or another, but those are terrorists gonna pay heavy price for their crime. Argumented Fakti newspaper is reporting that during the nighttime and early hours of this morning, Russian air defense systems on duty intercepted 59 drones that was launched by Kiev regime with assistance of NATO member states to strike deep inside the Russian territory. So 45 drones were intercepted over the Bryansk region, 6 drones over the Kursk region, 3 drones over the Belgorod region, also 3 drones over the Tula region, and 2 drones over the Moscow region. For now, no reports about casualties on the ground or more or less significant damage as a result of this yet another attempt of Kiev regime and its NATO backers to strike deep inside the Russian territory. If any update, of course, I will share additional news on my Telegram and the next update. And dear friends, before I continue, let me first check how long is this video. 35 minutes. Well, quite a lot of news, by the way. Let's go at least through headlines, although before, let me notice that this small media project of mine is completely subscriber funded, and I will be immensely grateful if you will also consider to join a community of Patreons that are making this show running, basically. So if you like my work, if you like my channels, please consider to support with small donations through PayPal or Boosty platforms, or by subscribing to my Patreon and Boosty pages, where I have quite a number of extra content, by the way, on regular basis. And as I already said, I'm trying my best to make sure that pages on Patreon and Boosty are interesting. I will just notice that a monthly subscription on Patreon starts from $5, and then you can choose your level of support, 5, 10, 20, 50. It's up to you, dear friends. I really hope we will manage to reach 200 before end of this year. 200 members on our in our Patreon community. That will put this project in more safer place. So, consider. Let's go through some other news. TASS news agencies are reporting. Links, by the way, of course, are on this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. TASS news agency is reporting that Ansar Allah movement, or Houthi rebels, as they are also known worldwide, claimed that they targeted Tel Aviv and Ashkelon cities in Israel during the previous 24 to 48 hours. Obviously, it is difficult to confirm or deny these claims. I did not see in Russian media reaction of the Israeli side on this claim, but well, Houthi rebels already proved that they are very much capable force. They are conducting long-range strikes towards Israel on regular basis, and also they are conducting strikes on vessels in Red Sea and aquatory, surrounding aquatory, on quite a regular basis on vessels that are connected with Israel or with US and UK. So they clearly prove that they are forced to be reckoned with, really. But yet again, in this particular case, no way to confirm that their strike was a success or failure. RT is also reporting that Iran demands $1 trillion from US, $1 trillion, by the way. The US owes Iran $1 trillion for the decades of economic sanctions, a senior official in Tehran has said, while accusing Washington of supporting terrorism. In a speech on Saturday, Ali Shamkhani, who serves as a secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, accused their US-led West, which he called their arrogant front, of trying to use different tricks in the form of their own hybrid war to undermine the country. The official claimed that the Americans themselves openly admit that they formed their terrorist group ISIS and Al-Qaeda in a bid to create a rift between Iran and its neighbors, as well as to protect its ally and Tehran's arch foe Israel. Shahmani went on to denounce US sanctions against Iran, which were first introduced after 1979 Islamic Revolution. Americans should pay $1 trillion in damages to Iran because they had held back our country for 25 years. He said over there. Okay, I mean, in 2021, Iranian former minister Mohammad Javad Zarif claimed that US sanctions inflicted $1 trillion worth of damage on Iran's economy, while demanding compensations from Washington as a prerequisite for a return to a nuclear deal. Well, one may laugh at these claims, by the way, from Tehran, but now, especially in Washington, but one day US may end up in a situation when it will need agreement with Tehran. It will need improvement of the relationships with Tehran, and when that day comes, US will face all the consequences that it created, including with their illegal sanctions that US is imposing on countries left and right if it's nothing, while it is something, right? And one day US will just face consequences for its actions. That's how it is. So these claims, I mean, US may never pay $1 trillion in damages to Iran, but US may pay a couple of hundreds of billions at least. And mark my word, by the way, that's possibly what is going to happen. One way or another, but it is going to happen. RT is reporting because, I mean, one day, dear friends, US and collective West will want to become a part of rest of the world again, right? Right now, collective West is drifting away from rest of the world. Am I correct? I guess so. And for some time, decades potentially, this world will be divided this way, like collective West on one side and the rest of the world on the other side. And this rest of the world will build their multipolar world in these decades, and at some point collective West will have new elites, new leadership, and they will want to join or rejoin rest of the world, rest of the humanity. And during that process, of course, Western states will face all the consequences of their actions, and there will be situations when, yes, they have to compensate for all the wrongdoing for decades and decades. That's how it's going to be, because no one going to forget or forgive, right? Not Iran, not Russia, not any other country, by the way, that was attacked by Western ruling class. Also, RT is reporting that India successfully tests its first long-range hypersonic missile. India successfully conducted a flight trial of its first long-range hypersonic missile off the coast of Odisha state on Saturday, launched from APG Abdul Kalam Island. It is capable of carrying various payloads over distances exceeding 1,500 kilometers. According to their country's Defense Research and Development Organization, their missile was monitored by multiple tracking systems deployed across different domains. Data collected from downrange ship stations confirmed their precise terminal maneuvers and their impact accuracy. The hypersonic missile was developed domestically by their DRDO's laboratories at their DR APG Abdul Kalam Missile Complex in Hyderabad, Hyderabad, in collaboration with the various partners from industry and research. Well done to India's scientists, military industrial complex. You know my attitude towards India. Any success of India, I see something to be celebrated. I like this country, by the way. I see India as our strategic partner, our brotherly nation. And therefore, I'm always happy whenever any good news comes from India. I think in process of developing this hypersonic missile, India probably used some technologies that they learned during the cooperation, in process of cooperation with Russia. After all, Russia and India together developed another missile system, BrahMos missile system, which is, I believe, also hypersonic or maybe supersonic, but I guess cooperation between military industrial complexes of the Russia and India probably help Indian side to develop domestically this hypersonic weapon system. Well done, by the way. What can I say? Well done. That's news agency. And dear friends, when it comes to India, well, this is a major superpower in this world, by the way. Obviously, major superpower, economically speaking, and very soon militarily also. Even now, India is a very formidable force that everybody should, take seriously. Obviously, by the way, and Indian militaries prove themselves on many occasions, right? But give it another 15, 20, 30 years, and India gonna be right up on the top, by the way. That's India's destiny, by the way. India is already major superpower in this world, and will play increasing positive role in this world's developments. That's how it is. TASS news agency is reporting that Peskov, press spokesman of the Russian president, once again was asked about potential talk between U.S. President-elect Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, and he said that contacts are possible. It might happen, but for now, there is not even preparations in place for such a conversation to take place. Let's translate this news also. So the conversation between the leaders of the Russia and the United States, Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump, is not even being prepared yet. But if necessary, it can be organized quickly. Russian presidential press secretary Dmitry Peskov said in an interview with the VGTRK journalist Pavel Zarubin. So yes, even though Western propaganda outlets are still pushing this narrative, isn't it, that this fake news that Trump called the Russian president and they discussed this and that, and that never happened. It seems like, according to all the news that I read, by the way, that conversation that the Wall Street Journal, isn't it, initially claimed that took place, never happened. Although press spokesman of the Russian president is saying that if there is initiative from side of Donald Trump, his team, then such conversation between the two leaders can be arranged in a relatively short time. Although, by the way, as we can see, situation is developing in such ways in terms of next level of escalation that Western ruling class is provoking, that I don't even know if now is the right time for Trump and Putin to have a conversation, because before Trump will get to office, Western ruling class may destroy all the chances of the de-escalation between Russia and the collective West for years to come. Let's hope it will not happen, but unfortunately, situation is developing in very dangerous ways right now. And I will end this update on this news that a broadcaster fires host who spoke about shooting fans of Russian culture. So Lithuanian public broadcaster LRT has fired pro-Ukrainian right-wing TV host and blogger Algis Rosas, who suggested that Lithuanians who enjoy Russian culture should be shot. In a statement on Sunday, the broadcaster said that Romanovskas has been removed from the satirical political show Dviratio Zinios, where he played one of the characters. The public broadcaster applies their highest ethical standards not only to its employees, but also to all show creators, presenters, and actors, as their statements in their public space are often associated with their LRT. The channel said the repeated controversial rhetoric of Romanovskas in the public space is not compatible with these standards and damages the image of LRT. Therefore, his role in Dviratio Zinios has been given to a different actor, the broadcaster said. Romanovskas, and I reported, by the way, about this situation a couple of weeks ago. Romanovskas made his inflammatory remarks during an interview with a political without us Sinica, with politician, I guess, which was posted on the journalist's YouTube channel in September, and then quote, "I understand that what I want is utopia, but imagine a family where their father is watching a Russian movie with the volume turned all the way up, and their mother is listening to loud Russian music," Romanovskas said in a conversation with their Sinica. Their only question raising here is this: should the children be taken away first and then their parents be shot, or should there be shot in the presence of their children? Of course, their children should be taken first. We should take the children away from such a parents. That was his comments, by the way. He was talking about killing parents before eyes of their children. He was talking about killing people for listening to Russian music or watching Russian movie. I mean, psycho. Psycho, by the way. Clearly, this is beyond anything, really. Right? Psychopaths. And I guess some people in Europe, in Brussels, maybe are, even in Brussels, by the way, potentially are sick and tired of this extreme Nazism and the fascism of Baltic states, right? Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. Their so-called elites, by the way, are worst of the worst representatives of the humanity. And trust me, this is the case, by the way. Just read what they are saying, and you will understand what I'm talking about, right? And that's why this person feels free to say such a disgusting stuff, right? That's why he felt free to say that kind of disgusting stuff, because elites in those countries are the same. They think the same. They are similar. But I guess in Brussels and some other capitals, even though Western ruling elites in their majority are Russophobes, even they are ashamed to be associated with these elements, with such elements that are running their show in these Baltic states, right? Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. And that's why I guess this broadcaster, LRT, was pressured basically to fire this personality, and that's why they did it. Otherwise, without outside pressure, they would probably completely ignore this story, because as I said, man, elites, so-called elites in these Baltic states are all the same. They all are fascists, literally fascists. And I'm not exaggerating even a bit. They are fascists. And I will end this update on this news. Let's see how long it will take before that fired fascist host will find their new job on some other TV station in Lithuania. Anyways, this is it for now. Hopefully you'll find this update informative, interesting, useful. And if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything. Just say hello. That will also count as a comment, because likes and comments are only way, dear friends, that we can try at least and influence immensely aggressive algorithm, especially on YouTube. Although likes and comments are working on Rumble also to promote the video. And for a very same reason, if you can please share information about my channels with your friends in real life or on internet. And finally, as I already said, if you like my work, if you like my channels, if you want support, you can do it. All the links are under this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. This is it for now. Have a great day and take care.